Hi, I'm Karen.
And I'm Sarah.
And welcome to part 2 of our Disneyland Paris travel guide. In this series, we're giving you all of our top tips on what you need to know before you book a trip to Disneyland Paris. Covering things like how to get there, what to take with you, where to eat, and in this video, where to stay.
So the main choice you have really is whether to stay on site in a Disney hotel or to stay off site at one of the local hotels, many of which are very close to the parks as well.
Yeah, so I've stayed in both types of accommodation. You've got 6 hotels on the Disney property and like a campsite. Campsite sounds a bit basic. It's more a outdoor.
It's camping themed.
Campsite sounds rubbishy.
Yeah.
You have the Davy Crockett
Still Disney
campsite,
themed, isn't it? Yeah.
Which is the first place I stayed in 1992, back when Euro Disney opened.
It's a long time ago.
And from what I remember, it was nice. We had like a little chalet type log cabin thing.
At the moment, all I can think is the Davy Crockett theme. So, especially for any oldies like me, Davy Crockett.
I don't know how I know the song because I don't know the TV show.
Brings back amazing childhood memories.
But I've heard probably my dad sing the song. So yeah, you have the Davy Crockett campsite, and that is more, I think if you were going for a longer trip where you were perhaps going to be travelling to different places as well as the parks, because it's set further outside of the park area than all the other hotels, so it's sort of off on its own a bit, and you need to get like the shuttle bus or drive your car to the park. I think it's probably too much of a walk.
I'm guessing more people would probably drive to somewhere like that, or do lots of people use their shuttle.
I think we took our car with us, but then for the park days we got the park bus.
Right.
But on the days we weren't in the parks, we had our car to go off and explore. And like that, you have like the self-catering kitchens and stuff, so it's more a self-catering option if you're not going to be in the parks eating out all the time. That's where it would be a good option. But
the more budget, probably conscious of the
out of the Disney properties,
it's like your Pop Centuries. I mean, it's not like that property, but it's your.
It's the budget.
The budget.
One of the budget options. Yeah. The other two would be Hotel Santa Fe, which I stayed at once, which has like a Cars theme. Fancy, but it was nice to have like the little Disney touches here and there. The Disney hotels do tend to be quite huge, so even once you're like on the hotel site, it can be quite a long walk to actually get to your room or get from your room to like the restaurant and the hotel facilities. So that's something to bear in mind, that they are quite vast.
Disney doesn't go small, do they?
And then also the Hotel Cheyenne, which has a Wild West cowboy theme. I've not stayed at that one, but it looks pretty fun. I've walked through it, and if I were to go again, that's one of the ones I'd like to stay at. Moderate options, which would be Sequoia Lodge, Newport Bay Club, and the Hotel New York, which has now had a Marvel overlay, so it's the Art of Marvel Hotel. I stayed there for one night just before the Marvel makeover, and didn't really get to see any of the hotel other than the room, which was nice. But that one, I would say, if you're taking teenage boys, that's probably the one to go for, as it's the most masculine. It's not princessy at all, and
I think even for your little ones, any little ones who are into superheroes are gonna love Art of Marvel.
But yeah, I see it as one that men would like more. No, does that sound silly?
No, it doesn't. Okay, I mean, men and women can love Marvel and stuff, but
yeah, I would say if you're trying to sell this trip to a reluctant husband or boyfriend, maybe you could convince them with like Marvel stuff more than you would be able to with Cinderella.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's the point I'm getting at. And then Sequoia Lodge, I think maybe that's my favourite. I've heard a lot of people sort of complain about it and say how bad it is, but it was the first Disney hotel that I stayed in apart from the campsite, and I loved it. It's got like a woodland theme. I guess it would be close to Wilderness Lodge in Florida.
Or I'm thinking of, although it's a very high priced one in Anaheim, is the Grand, which is very much based on like the Mountain Lodge.
Right, yeah. But I just love that theming, like the great outdoors meets like barbecues.
Sounds good to me.
There was a nice restaurant and a nice thing like Chippendale theme / Bambi we might have had in our room. And then the last hotel was the Newport Bay Club, which has a nautical theme. I was supposed to stay there on my COVID trip that got cancelled, so I've never actually stayed there. One thing that puts me off about this one is because it's nautical, the restaurants seem to lean quite heavily towards seafood, which I'm not that big a fan of.
Me neither.
Not that you have to like eat like at your hotel, you can eat at I think you can eat at any of the hotels actually.
You usually can, and I mean, to be fair, you're probably spending more time eating in the parks than you do at your hotel.
But just something to be aware of.
Yeah. And then what is the most desired property?
The Disneyland Hotel. If you got the money, you can stay right at the entrance of the park in the Disneyland Hotel, and if you've really got a lot of money, you can have a park view room, so you can sit in bed and look out onto the park and
watch the fireworks from your balcony.
Yeah.
That's not every room, by the way.
More than likely you'll end up with like a room that doesn't face the park.
Yeah, the 10-mile walk to the rooms right at the very end.
But
the corner.
I think it would still be nice
worth
to
it.
stay there. I would still do it.
Just to know, like, if you're really tired, you can just pop back to your hotel, just relax for an hour.
Or if you buy something, like, I'll just pop this back to the room.
Yeah.
And I would say for all of the Disney hotels, they do have shuttle buses that run you to the Disney Village, but most of them are walking distance. So especially the 3 round the lake, that's just a short walk through Disney Village to get to the park. But then Hotel Santa Fe and Cheyenne are a little bit further out, but you can still walk it. So it's probably an extra sort of 10-15 minutes. but it's a nice walk and one that I would feel safe doing.
I think a big benefit of the Disneyland Hotel is it has its own dedicated entrance to the park as well.
Is that the one we went through though, when you put your bag in the...
No, I think it's on that side, but no, they have their own. Yeah. So there's lots of perks and convenience of staying on site, from the free shuttle services, free parking, the Disney theming, the character encounters. They even have a shopping delivery service to your room, so you don't even have to walk back to your room. You just get them to deliver it for you.
One thing they have as well, when I arrived on the train one time, you can pay for an extra service that takes your bags to your hotel, so you can go straight to the park without having to check in and do all that first.
That sounds like a good plan as well. And other sort of amenities or extras you get is extra magic time, which means you get to go into the parks before it opens to the main public. The proximity obviously is a massive plus. The immersive theming, the character encounters, as I said before, and then if you're, as Karen said, you've got more of the money and you're staying in certain rooms or suites, you may have lounge access, VIP fast pass privileges, and in-room dining.
Yeah, I know, I'm not sure if they all have it, but I know the Newport Bay and Sequoia, when I was looking, they have club level access, so on top of your nice room you get access to a special lounge that does afternoon tea that's included, which would be most beneficial if you're in the ones closer to the park, because you don't want to spend too much time going back there.
No, that's right.
So it's for free cake, so it might be worth it. But yeah, there is quite a bit of variation in price of rooms, from your standard room through to your deluxe club rooms with all the privileges. Disney also do special offers as well throughout the year, and the deal can change, but it typically will include your hotel stay and park tickets, and then either some kind of discount or a free meal plan or some kind of bonus for booking a Disney hotel. So that's when I think it really becomes worthwhile, when you get a good deal.
I mean, I think everyone's dream for travelling to Disney anywhere in the world is to have the fully immersive experience, and to get that, staying on site is the way to go.
Yeah, I guess downsides would be
the cost.
Typically the cost is going to be higher than if you were staying off-site, which is what we did on our last trip.
I mean, the main reason on the last trip is that I actually booked it for myself. I was going just on my own at Christmas time, and obviously, as anyone who's ever done solo travel, you pay through the nose for staying anywhere. Like even a cupboard cost you a fortune. So I booked through British Airways and got a cheap but decent hotel that was very local. That way, and then I found out that Karen would like to come along.
I decided to go as well.
Yeah, which was fabulous.
At that point, it was too late to just add me to the same room, so I also had to pay through the nose for a solo room.
Yeah. However, it was a pretty good. It was a reasonable deal,
and it was quite nice to have my own room, to be fair.
Yeah. Except I had a kettle and she didn't.
The pot noodle.
And I don't use kettles, so never mind. So she could make a pot noodle every night. That's another story.
You digress.
Yeah, I digress. So yeah, staying off site. Obviously the biggest benefit. Ready, Karen?
Just making up my own
is the cost. It's definitely a way to keep costs down. Where we stayed at Christmas was in an area called Val d'Europe. You just stop laughing at my French. I did French at school, but I'm still rubbish. It's just literally outside the parks. actually is walkable, but quite long, like probably a half an hour walk to the parks. And if you walk all day in the parks, you might not want to do that. However, there is a free bus service to the parks. You just go out the door of the hotel, cross and down the road a little bit, literally just a block, wasn't it?
It was fairly easy to like do the buses in. The first time we did it, we were a bit unsure like where the bus stop was and then which bus it was, because it wasn't really
they're not very well
labelled as Disney. I thought it would have Mickey Mouse on the side and be obvious, but I think it was just a plain white bus.
Just looked like all the other local buses stopping at the same bus stop. So just beware of that.
But after you've done it the first time, you sort of know which
and then
one
you're
it is.
telling all the other people at the bus stop the next day, no, it's this one. So you sound really like you know what you're talking about the next day. Getting home is a little bit harder. Like it's the same bus, but if everyone's leaving the park at the same time, it can be a bit of a...
I think because you don't have the option like, oh, it looks busy, I'll just walk.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I need to wait for the next bus. Which I think we did that. There was one really packed bus and we're like, oh no, we'll just wait for the next one. Which were they like every 20 minutes?
Yeah, they were fairly frequent. And there was plenty of seating to wait. And I mean, bearing in mind this is the middle of winter for us, like I mean our last night it was -1. You know, it was very, very cold, but you know, we were wrapped up. And also, as you leave the parks, you know, I think one night we stopped and we hadn't eaten dinner yet, so we had Five Guys, and let the crowds kind of disperse.
We have Five Guys, and they all squeezed into the back of the bus with us and took them back to ours. 3 in that room, 2 in with me.
So now that's obviously not the only hotel, but that one was. Did I say the name of it?
Aparthotel,
Adagio, Serris.
It had a long, complicated name.
It did.
It was a decent hotel. Like there were a few things that were a bit shabby around the edges, but
they were in the middle of renovating that.
I felt like mine had just been renovated, but not perhaps finished off completely. But it was fine, and
the corridors were a bit shabby, but they were. I know there were signs that were saying renovations about to begin. If you were to stay there in the summer, it's got a lovely swimming pool, sort of in the centre court.
We didn't really
goes around it.
Use any of the facilities or anything, but it did have like kitchens in our rooms, so a good self-catering option if you didn't want the campsite.
And 5 minutes walk as well to the big shopping centre, which we didn't go to as we didn't have time, but literally just down the road there is a big shopping centre which has got a sea life centre in there where you can see fish. Fish!
That's the other video.
I believe there's Primark in there, there's all sorts. It's a very big mall, so it's just down the road.
I think that would be one of the benefits from staying off-site, apart from the cost saving. It also immerses you a bit in France, not just Disney. So if you do want to see some of a different country and like go past the proper French boulangerie.
Oh, and it looked lovely, the one just down the road.
Then that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
A negative I would say about staying off site is the distance. And on that last night when you went back early and I had to get the bus on my own, I was a bit nervous thinking, what do I do if it doesn't come? And I just felt a bit like I don't know my way to walk back, and it wouldn't have felt as safe as walking through Disney property to get back to your hotel.
True.
So as a solo traveller, perhaps I would want to stay on one of the Disney hotels rather than do that, but then I'm also a bit of a wimp, so
you're going to pay a fortune. I get as a solo traveller that you're paying for the room, but I never understand why the room costs more for one person than it does for 2 people together.
Does it?
Sometimes. And that's what I don't understand.
I thought it would be just the same as the 2
No,
costs.
not always. It can. Like when I look, for example, the cruise that we're going on at Christmas, the quote for me as a solo traveller for the same room was about £1,000 more than what we're paying for 2 of us in that room.
So that's why you're taking
Exactly, that's why she's coming.
I see you looked up the solo travel first.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've looked up the quotes before as a solo traveller.
Yeah.
And also my other bugbear, this is digressing a bit, but I think for solo travellers to be aware of this, is that they'll charge you the single supplement, but then they put you in a single room.
Ah.
A tiny little single room, which is like a cupboard, with a single bed and barely anything else.
Yeah.
And yet they
pay
say
more than everyone else.
So if they're going to put you in a single room, then they should charge you a single price. I get paying more if you're staying in a double room, but you're only one person filling it, that you pay the price of the room. I get that.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be any extra than what
it shouldn't cost more, and you shouldn't be paying so much for single rooms. I used to find that when I did coach tours.
Yeah.
And you'd paid the single supplement for the tour, which was pretty hefty, and then you'd get to your hotel and they'd give out all the keys, and you'd find your room. It was this tiny little box room, and you'd think, well, why did I pay the single supplement then? Anyway.
And if you need help booking your Disney trip, then get in touch with Sarah, who is an independent travel advisor.
Yeah, get in touch with me and I can help you with all of your travel plans.
In the meantime, thanks for watching this video, and make sure you hit the like button.
And subscribe.
And tune in next week to see all of our food-based recommendations at Disneyland Paris. See you!
Bye!
Thank you.